Hello, it's Mark Attwood. Welcome to the Mark Attwood Show, Adventures in a Cosmic Suit. Now, today I'm going to talk about my recent UFO experiences. But before I go into that, please remember to sign up to the email list in the description box beneath this video because it's the best way of keeping up with my work. So recent UFO experiences. Now, if you're on my Telegram channel, there's a link to that in the description as well. Then you may have seen some of the videos and UFO related content that I've produced on this channel. But then again, you may not. So I'm gonna, if I repeat myself, I do apologize. But 2 nights ago, I had an experience where I decided to call in our brothers and sisters in up there. I've got to be careful about the words I use, because if I say in space, then flat earthers will say there is no space. And if I say whatever, I don't really know. But what I do know is that these things are real and they are becoming more visible, shall we say. And I've also noticed some changes in the way that they appear. What do I mean by this? So I'll go back in history a little bit. For those of you who've never seen me before, my first job in life was as a pilot in the RAF, and I resigned before I finished training, but I did do quite a bit of training, and in fact I could fly before I could drive. I first went solo when I was 16. So I know how aircraft move. I'm a bit of a geek. I can tell by an engine sound usually what an aircraft is, because I studied them a lot when I was younger. So I do have some knowledge that maybe is more than the average person. I don't know. But I certainly know the difference between something that we know about, in the known world in terms of aviation, and things that we don't. I also know the difference between satellites and things moving, in ways that they're not supposed to. So going back in time, over the last 30 years, I have literally seen thousands of incidences of things flying in the sky that do not move as they should do, or as we know they should do, which is the very different definition of an unidentified flying object. So yes, thousands of UFOs. Now, the majority of the ones that I've seen have been like white lights, like they look like stars, to be honest, but they move around in crazy ways, and they stop and they weave and they do right angle turns, and they move at Mach 30 plus, things that shouldn't be possible based upon what we know. So, but then things took a turn for me last year when a friend of a subscriber of this channel emailed me and said something in the email that really grabbed my attention, and that was, she said, I have been up on the ships for 10 years. I know these got people, and she described them and gave me their names. And she said this line, she said, they know that you look up every night, which I do. I look up every night. I've looked up every single night since I can remember. And I think that is basically how you see UFOs. You don't sit in watching the TV, you sit out in the garden, you look up. I'm also I've been in a couple of UFO hotspots. I'll come back to that in a minute. And she said to me, next time you go and look up, look for a star that you resonate with, and then try talking to it psychically. And which is what I did that night. I went out, I looked at this star, and if you've listened to this story before, you can flip forward a little bit. I have said this before on this channel, but for those of you who've never heard it, that's why I'm telling it again. Yeah, I looked up at this star, and I felt this resonance, and I could feel something happening to me. And it wasn't like, I don't hear words like somebody speaking, but I know what the message that I'm getting, and I understand it. And what I heard was, did you see that? Immediately after, there was a flash over here. So I was looking at the star over here, but there was a flash in the sky over here. And I went, yes, I did. And then, did you see that? Another flash. And I said, yes, I did. And then what I heard was, are you scared? And I said, no. And then this beautiful light popped up above the houses and looked like it was about 2,000 feet up. And it moved along like really slowly, Like it was definitely trying to get my attention, and I was just watching it with in awe as it moved along. And then the sky lit up, and I saw this triangular shape. Now I'm not an artist at all, but it was kind of like this, except replace the blue because I haven't got any coloring pencils in the house. But I replaced the blue with black and the whites with kind of a burnt orange color. That's what I saw. I think it was that way around. I saw it like this, and these squiggles are my attempt at hieroglyphics. Weirdly, I'm wearing a t-shirt, kind of like this, actually, coincidentally, or synchronicity. Is that a word? Synchronous. I don't know. Call myself a poet. I don't even know the word for synchronicity. So it had these hieroglyphics on, and it was there for a split second, and it just went off like the Enterprise in Star Trek when they go into warp drive. It was astonishing, and I just stood there with my mouth open and ran to wake my son up, who was very bored because he's like, oh, another UFO. I'm going back to bed. But then I saw a couple more lights coming across, and this is kind of like becoming normal for me. And on this, since starting this channel, I've had some amazing people on, and one of which was a woman called Helen Galvin, who lived in Athlone in Ireland. And she emailed me really early on during the channel and showed me pictures of ships in the sky, but also elementals that she saw in her garden. And I made a couple of films with Helen. I did one interview with her, and then I took a camera guy over, and we made a little film called In Search of the Little People, which you can find on YouTube or on my theMarkAttwoodShow.com, which was just my attempt at trying to capture these things on film. And we did capture them, not brilliantly. It's not very easy to capture these lights. Even the cameraman, when we were looking at these elementals, these lights just appeared in the bushes, and they were like as strong as car headlights, but they had an ethereal kind of quality to them. Even he, while he was filming them, said he still wasn't convinced. I mean, even when they were in front of some people, it's like the story of the ships coming over the horizon, and the tribe couldn't see the ships. I can't remember what that story is, what the name of that story is, but if you've heard it before, you know what I'm talking about. So that's the interesting thing, because I think these things appear to us when we're ready to see them. If you go back through my catalogue, you'll see a number of interviews, notably with Alex Collier, the Andromedan contact, who's a wonderful man, and a really great interview. You go and listen to what he has to say. Also, George D. Smith, who wrote the book, I'm looking for it, called UFOs in the Fish Tank. He's from Aberdeen. I interviewed him from his mobile home van, and that's a great interview. Go and look that up. And also Kent Dunn, who's a Pleiadian. And not all of these guys agree, and not all of them even like each other, but they're all very, very interesting perspectives. But when I went to meet Helen, it was astonishing to meet somebody who sees the same things that I do, and actually see them in the flesh, as it were. Unfortunately, Helen passed away at Christmas time, so she's no longer with us, but I do miss her. She was becoming a good friend, and she was a wonderful, wonderful woman, and hopefully she's where she wants to be now, because she never liked being on Earth. That's what she told me anyway. She didn't really like people, so I was quite lucky that she took a shine to me. So I'm just going to show you a few. No, tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to update you first. So the other night I decided to lie down on the grass and call these things in. So I'm not professing to be any great shakes or anything, but I did get asked when I was in Cornwall, can you call these things in? And I said, yeah, I think I can. And what I do is I telepathically ask them to put a show on. When I was in Cornwall, we were me and a couple of friends were lucky enough to see about 7 of them. And what they do is they sort of pop up, and they do this. If you watch James Gillibrand on ESETI, I'm trying to remember the name of his I can't remember what it's called, but go and look up ESETI and James, who's a brilliant guy to listen to. He's a fantastic. It's this ranch basically in America. I think it's in Washington State near a mountain where the people go on pilgrimage to see all sorts of things, from Bigfoot to leprechauns to elementals and UFOs coming out of the mountain there. He describes this thing that I've seen as a power up. I think he calls it that, and it is like it's like the stars going along, and then suddenly it flares and then shoots off or does something else. So I've seen a lot of those, and I saw 7 in Cornwall that time, about 3 weeks ago. But what I've been noticing recently in the last 3 weeks, when I look up, is that these white lights around them, it's kind of like this sparkles. I think that's the best way of putting it. It's like these sparkles happening around them, and they're multicolored, and it's a bit like sort of electricity coming off them. And I must admit, for a few weeks, I thought it was my eyesight. But the other night, it was not my eyesight. It was definitely happening, and I saw at least 30 UFOs. Now, I didn't film it because I wanted to just experience it, because it is a spiritual experience seeing these things, and it was just wonderful. I mean, they were dancing all over the sky and flaring up, powering up, and sparkling, and it was just like I was there for about 25 minutes before I got too cold, lying on the blanket, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful sight. But people have asked me before, why have you not taken any videos of these things? Well, I actually have, and I'm just going to share a few of these with you. Hopefully you can see my screen now. So if you go to my the Mark Attwood Show Adventures in the Cosmic Suit Telegram and just go to the search bar and type in UFO, you'll see a few things. Here's a couple of pictures that Helen sent me last year of UFOs here. This spherical one here, it was really funny because she sent me this picture. It was a day after I'd seen exactly the same thing in the sky. It was right ahead on a Sunday afternoon. Exactly the same, big white round sphere. I've seen ones this shape as well. She took this in her garden in Athlone in Ireland. Excuse me. And you'll see that I've done loads of posts here talking about. Helen said that was an Arcturian ship, and Helen was very psychic, so I trust she was a very trusted source of information. You'll also find there's some. If you look at George D. Smith UFOs in the fish tank, this is a really good thing. A biggish UFO has come into Aberdeen to arrest over 200 police. George said that they told him that there's going to be like 20-mile wide ships appearing over cities around the world and arresting people. It's not happened yet, obviously, but maybe it's happening soon. I'm just going to find this film. So these are the kind of things that I've shot.
I'm recording. Oh, it just disappeared. Where's it gone? No, there it is. Hello. Look at that flashing. See the way it's flashing? I hope you can. Oh. How many satellites or planes do you know power up like that? No, it's still there. See it? Hello. That's the sound of a football in the background. Excuse that. Yeah, it's gone down.
So this was, about 2 months ago. In the course of a week, I saw UFOs every night for about 5 or 6 nights, and it was really like they wanted me to show them. So that's why I'm sharing them now on YouTube.
This is mad.
What the fuck?
Yeah, can you see it? Can you see it moving?
It just moved over like super far.
Yeah, I know, because it's a UFO. It's not a satellite. It's not a plane. They come in and see me every single night. Hello, gorgeous. Hello. Hello, my friend. Can you imagine an aeroplane moving that speed? It's not possible. And there's no noise, and it's just a beautiful white light.
There are no flights at this hour of the night.
It's not an aeroplane. It's got no starboard or port lighting. It's not making any noise. It's moving in a way that nothing that we know of moves. Look, you see? Can you see it? Alan, how do you feel about seeing that? You are witnessing something extraordinary, and it happens this is the third one this week I've got on video. Hello. Sorry if you're watching this, I'm talking too much, but oh my God, I love it. See the way it changes speed? It kind of speeds up, slows down, moves left and right. It's nothing that we know of moves that way. Where's the other one?
Right beside. It looks like
Is there someone? No, I can only see one. Sorry about the smoke. I've got a fire on here. Please come down and say hello.
that's two.
No, that's one. I think you're going cross-eyed.
Maybe.
Look at that. You see, I see this every night, Alan, and now you're a witness. I can't believe it. It's brilliant. It's so good you're a witness. And so good. I'm telling you, they're coming out so that I can film them because they want people to know about them. I've got it zoomed in. I don't know what it's going to look like on camera, but that is beautiful. Come down and say hello, please. We're ready. We are nearly ready. Look at that, Alan. What do you think? Tell me what you think before I stop filming it.
It's so random how it's moving around.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
Nope.
Oh man, we're so blessed. Look, see how the light is disappearing? Now it's look at that! See what it just shot off? It's just shot off. It literally did that as a fly past.
Yeah, I do. I am a little bit like a kid in a sweet shop when I see UFOs. Let's see this one.
Okay, this is the fourth UFO that I have captured on camera in about less than a week. Oh my God, yeah.
There's a lot going on there.
There's loads there.
There's ships around it. So there's a red and there's a blue from where it's after traveling.
There it is. That is not an aeroplane. It's not a satellite. It's not anything I recognize as an aircraft. And there it is, flying in the sky.
It's traveling good. And it looks like it dropped off some other ships.
Hello. Please come down, say hello.
Beam us up.
Beam us up, Scotty. There she goes.
That one's on a mission.
It's hard to narrate this to make it more interesting. If you were here, it would be extremely interesting. I hope this camera's picking it up. I'm going to try and zoom in.
She's on a mission.
Don't know how.
See, he's heading to Dublin.
He's heading.
He's got some beans to pick up.
He's heading somewhere.
Some beans to pick up to take to the
The in-
central.
The interesting thing is exactly the same flight path as the last one. Right, so yesterday, about now, it just shot up into space. So let's see what happens now. Because this is a much clearer night than last night. Is it going to shoot up?
So you can go onto the Telegram channel and just have a look through the UFO information I've got on there. Also, interestingly, where I live now was the UFO Society of Ireland headquarters, because there was a woman that lived here called Betty Mailer, who was an experiencer. Unfortunately, she died 10 years ago, and I just missed her because I really wanted to meet her, and I was visiting this town a lot in the 2000s, but I just kept missing her. But I've met some of the people that have met her, and she was very highly thought of by a lot of people. And by all accounts, she was a wonderful woman. She was also a pilot, and she was often seen out on the lake near here with divining rods looking for a portal. And last week, I was privileged to have a lesson in divining, a 3 or 4 hour lesson with an amazing man called Douglas, who knows more about water and mystical things than anybody I've ever met. And Douglas took me to a local church, which is what do you call it? It's not derelict, but it's empty. You know, there's nothing there. There's no glass in the windows. There's no door. In fact, I filmed part of "I See You," the film poem, part of that in that church a couple of months ago, and I had a wonderful session with him with these 2 copper rods like this, and he's very particular, and he was like, okay, you've got to do this properly, and then you have to tune in. It's really interesting. You have to tune into it, and say what it is that you want to see. And what I wanted to see was like, where's the water? So you would do this, and then there's the water. There's the edge of it. There's the edge of it. So you know exactly where the water is. Then you can also ask for the direction of flow, which I did, and then it was like, oh, it's going that way. And then you could ask for the magnetic field, because all water underground has a magnetic field around it. So then you'd find this magnetic field just before you hit the water, and obviously on the other side, because it's like this. We were also checking out the energy of the trees and vortexes, and we were using it to find portals. So, and I really wanted to learn this because, like Betty, I'm going to go out on the lake with my kayak, and I'm going to see if I can find this portal, because I know the woman that you heard speaking there is a friend of mine, Rebecca, who's definitely fifth dimensional human being. She's seen ships over the lake, and she also told me where this portal is. And I think I've been through it in a remote viewing meditation that I did last year. I say I know that I did. I just don't necessarily like saying these things factually, because you sound like you're not wrapped too tight, to quote a guy from the Disclosure Project in 2001, for those of you who watch that sort of thing. So yeah, it's a really, really interesting time in terms of, I'm getting other people sending me pictures of UFO sightings. In the local paper here, there was a piece in the paper with people talking about seeing a large triangular ship. I also saw I had some friends have been sending me pictures basically of ships hiding in clouds, other sorts of ships. And what I'd like to say to you guys is, if any of you want to have had UFO experiences and you've got pictures and videos, I'd love to do a UFO roundtable. So email mark@themarkattwoodshow.com and put UFOs in the subject line and send that in, and let's get that organized. I did put it on Telegram a couple of months ago, but it's been such a crazy few weeks. Well, it's been a crazy 2 years, let's be honest. But energetically, I don't always have the energy to follow through on things, and I have to keep going where my higher self tells me. So I try to organize my life, and then I get dragged in this direction and that direction, and I'm doing things like learning dowsing, and I'm meeting all these teachers and healers on my path, which are all spiritually strengthening me. I've also been attacked recently, which is also spiritually strengthening me. If you're being attacked or being upset by people, don't worry about it. It's all part of tempering you to make you stronger for what's coming. And what's coming is so exciting, it's so exciting. Don't ask me what it is, because I don't actually know, but I'm very excited. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that wee chat. I will leave it there, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.